Ebusian so share video ya etwegu ya Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong and just Ojina Court ewo New Jersey ewo America maimu New Jersey Court and Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong Ojina ewo America maimu asem kesiesi na asem ni nyina enesen Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong and New Jersey Court ewo America ashe ne se ontua $18 million Enfama Anas Aremeyaw Anas. Ewo defamation case a chese Anas edebedan New Jersey court se ondi mano. Na obi be wonder say eba ne sen ena Anas etumi atabri asem no ede afri Ghana kopiem ewa America mame mo nkyeremu. Video no ewa kakra but ni nyina nse nyantobo ase na gi nkyeremu no. Kwanye fa so a chese Anas etumi ko siu Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong ewa America memu ene America court no ashe eye Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong se ontua $18 million enfama Anas Aremeyaw Anas so bekaya on the 15th of March 2023 ena Anas ya etabri eye Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong ede call Ghana court for defamation. Ni nyina ne say Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong egu ne ho fi enti Ghana court no enje 25 million Ghana cedis emfama eye ono Anas no asem ne pem so na no in fact asem ni bubo Anas ema Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong esan fa ho edi nkonim court esha Anas say on 50,000 Ghana cedis emfama Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong judgment ne baaye no Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong the to court nenim say esika no enye ne hwe ompe ni ohia free eye Anas Aremeyaw Anas ho ne say ompa eye Ghana fo chew na da wada da Ghana fo na afi nso judges a say wa ma ebi mo ahwere o madwuma wa ma ebi mo wuwu eye kwesi nyantechi na bra bose ne esi wa ma na bra ba ye hwem sticker ompa ne chew on render an apology eno no Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong no ohwehwe free Anas Aremeyaw Anas ho asem no ekodai chese ho no akosi na in fact Anas ante ne ho ase but before so de ebekọ America de enimu no kra no yentie ensem a Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong after court no ewo Ghana odi nkunim no odi tudwa ewia ne yato aso.
Talk too much. All I'll say is the victory is especially for Nyantechi and the gentleman here. What they have gone through are massive humiliation in this country. Nobody, no citizen of this country should go through like that. I tell you today, the 50,000, I don't need it. I give it to him, but he should leave with discussions.
In Ghana side of the defamation case, Anas Edekodan court no udi nkuguo no. Ehun nsem ni bi ena Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong editudwa no. Eno no. Na afi yankwa America. Anas ante ne ho ase nyina no. Ena odi asemu ye call New Jersey court ewo ho. Say no. Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong. Papa bi e friend Daddy Fred. Ne platform so. Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong. Ebe jina so edidi ono Anas ne atem. Use so many unpalatable words. Edigensi ono Anas no. The jurisdiction yes that time no na Honorable Kennedy Agyapong only the Fred aiding common within that jurisdiction no na say o ni fie bia e America e hona just yes a video call na only the Fred social media ya o na just any say zoom no moye and yes Anas nya sa video no with all the words and statements Kennedy Akompre Agyapong eyetia Anas no and as Anas etabri sa video we edekodan court ewo New Jersey yentie video ni mu nsem no ensem a chese Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong editudwa edefa Anas Aremeyaw Anas ho na yewia Anas edi nkunim no nso ne lawyers akasa na eno nso yenkotie emra ha ye issues 233 patroya no like no share na wa comment nso edi amaye yentie Honorable Kennedy Akompre Agyapong oni the Fred omunkomo omudi ya chese eno Anas edekodan New Jersey court no
Auntie, when we are fighting for the truth, Uhuahi, and a lot of people, because we'll fight it now, we step on toes. So those toes will definitely high people go out there, disgrace you and everything. I know Intimeno and happen. Let me go to Ameswan. A criminal like Anas, very evil guy, very, very evil. And he continues to do that, even under MPP for Heshelde Anas. And so, as far back as February 2018, now we have just been in power for 1 year. Now, Anas, a Cossetti, MPP ministers up. You see somebody you have to believe more than me in Agyapong. I have all the videos. And I've given you the date, 8 February 2018. Anas, that evil boy, was setting MPP people up to disgrace them. That's how he makes his money. Or blackmailing for. And he sa I'm a swelling or no akasa or make dinner come crest also or where you crop for on where is journalist or unravel corruption here. Oh my country.
On the video Babontain the video Baba too just said and wasema Okan or radio says or bad premises the bisa amount for M1 and omote ya was sign and check and a woo and one check him one interpret about the cartoon page and amount for Shas here interpret.
Mamma Cassim, Uni nipa. Assume he said, Nam the cotu hona mo be here. Who are winning yet, Juma? Any panel, a woo ye within 20 minutes. Maybe I'm in tape. Now, who they are to social media or the two? Did he even say good things about Ameswali? No sympathy, nothing. And when I will say he's behind it because he wanted to divert attention. One, Adentina Asemasi, police investigation, Ukrainian course. Now, who was sending message to a congressman here? Some mimika saying, "Well, I don't Ghana for my Susasana. Ghana for my is Susasa." A criminal like that. Now, where Nipa or no Anas a Kumkum Chinese Pokumu. Now, me call court to me kind.
I know any proof until honor Yam for honor and Tony.
You want proof when I catch you, please. I have
fast proof for no more police for honor yen and so cry. Now, but your honor yen castle until honor
no, crash it. I think, Mr. Me what proof? I have all the videos of the Chinese people. What are you talking about? My court to crack can I know radio so I've gone to court and stated it clearly. Why are you afraid? Why?
I don't know Canada Japan to share so far no. One share situation now. As a more near Magu so a coup and massy.
The penny, one now money your problem. Muamuti Ghana, America, and with all due respect to some of Ghanaians, no, woman near Juma Papa Biennois, sorry, social media. Omuna Sassam way of many and come quote and come quote because a new man person a year the boy Ghana, Yanni said Jimmy Samnoa, a bimoti radio Sony TV so and they are comfort to say Anas or Jinko for Sassi, romances testinum. Now when your soldier phone paying for you know, a pinach. I will talk and the a problem. And I mean, my culture will say, Mimi say, once I'm fighting for the truth, there be I'll get enemies. Enti enhame.
We dia yesika kum ya jinu kwakuo num. Minim se watie nsem ni bi. Enti ensem a Honorable Kennedy Akompre kwa Agyapong edi tudwa abra na that time wa America. Ewo ni fie ni residence wa America. Eho na no ote a odi yesa video call we enti no. Etumi ma Anas kwanya so otumi siu no ewa America ho no. I hope say nyina yesua bibi e de afrim. Ne se wo kan obi hu asema ba bia ogina wo kan no. Ka hunu se nipa no betumi asiu ewo ho. Lawyer for Anas Aremeyaw Anas nso omonso akasa. Yenko na yenko tie. Ensema eni nchiremu a chese. Lawyer no e de atudwa abra na ne Kevin Taylor e twetwe nkomo.
We got news that a year Anas Aremeyaw Anas oye Ghanani oye investigative journalist his work ewiase afane nyina obi anim ejuma waye Over the years, he has gone through a lot of court appearances, in Ghana and also in the United States. And the Abetin say a year Kennedy Agyapong or your former MP. A few years ago, announced the investigative piece by na FA football home GFA, and at the end of the day, Nyoma Bibrisi, one of his colleagues or any investigations near the day, Ahmed Swale, FMU, Ehre. After that, series of Nyama Esi, a lot of information about out from Kennedy Agyapong, and a lot of allegations that were made against Anas. Say it wouldn't crumple Ahmed Swale, at the point Kennedy was insinuating on radio and on TV, say Anas Nimhubi. A lot of things were said by Kennedy Agyapong. He even went further to have a whole documentary session at his premises. Otunidin, who watches The Watchman, Obo video, trying to create the impression that whatever Anas put out initially as the original documentary, he has the original tapes that were hidden and all that. Now, fast forward, Aremeyaw felt to say there was a lot of allegations made. He thought he needed to clean himself because of the reputation he carries and also his work. Or ended up in New Jersey in a court. To make it easy for us, we are one of the lawyers for Anas, and I want to state again, Udini Evans Selassie Adika, renowned lawyer. Bepacho, can you run us through how it started and how we got to know today, say, a judgment in the New Jersey court? Abba.
Okay, Mr. P. The interesting thing is, I quite remember that you were sued in the U.S. sometime in 2021.
Yes. And
that actually caused my clients to begin inquiring about possibly if there's if there was anything out there, whether it will be actionable in the U.S. Mm. So you have some significance to today's events. So shortly after, when you were going through your motion to dismiss, we actually took a keen interest in that case and reviewed all the pleadings. Mm. And during that time also, my client informed me of a video that was circulating on social media. I just say, and someone just like what kind about my client. So, like, as the intellectuals that we are, we started opening the books and try to see where we can lay a claim. It's interesting enough for me, after reviewing the video, in our training, there's something that we are taught. So, in your case, it has to pass the test, and the case has to stand on all fours, which means that you do an analysis of whether there's jurisdiction in place, whether you have all the elements of each claim that you want to bring, So we went through all of that, and my conclusion was yes, on the basis of video now, my client is send them, you tweet back court, New Jersey, yes, and say, papa no video no so papa na and the numun sam say or kase fi ni fie New Jersey. Now when you say you move for so the diaspora is very important. Obviously, what you do is testament to that fact. And there was an audience that he spoke to. We're Ghana for. They all take a keen interest in the happenings in Ghana, especially the politics in Ghana. So we thought, there was solid grounds for us to be in the court in New Jersey. So I advised my clients accordingly. Now, when you say, so no, a lawyer. So obviously, he was an integral part of what was going on in the preparatory stage. At that time, I am a U.S. trained lawyer, but I currently only practice in Ghana. And there was a team of us. I'd like to say congratulations to my learned colleague Oded Crow. He was a part of yes, he was counsel of record in Ghana. So I put him into the research, and we drafted a complaint, and like Aremeyaw also a lawyer. So we did the work, and he actually filed it himself. So after the preliminary back and forth, Initially, no crown. The case was
case started.
We sued in 2022.
Okay. Yes.
We filed suit sometime. I think.
The complaint.
Yeah, sometime I think in the summer of 2022.
May 17th, 2022.
Yes. And you know, by law, no, there was a period by which Papa no Anka was or responded with what is known as an answer. But so Papa no one file a response. My case no call into default. Now, after a period of default, you can actually go for judgment. Now, a case near file, we filed on 3 counts. But I couldn't say or say a chrome or a chrome 4. The second one was or you would in terms of onuna or behind the medal of Yenuya Ahmed Swale.
Yeah.
Now, the third one so say Yenuya no a serial killer in terms of Chinese for Brebi Ghana. And then the fourth one is or a criminal. The blanket word criminal. And then the fifth one by implication, or say, what behind Woody Sembiana, that means say, Abiana, you know, a trigger man, and I don't know, will be second, and I say, perform the physical act that led to the foreseeable events, which is Obi a. So we also included a count that he is that he claims that my client, a co-conspirator in multiple serial killings. So that was basically the gravamen of our complaint. And when it went on undefended after the response time now, we began to make preparations to move for judgment. But being that I was in Ghana and we are all based in Ghana, we reached within our network and we partnered with 2 brilliant lawyers who I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate. Agyapong Esquire, he was the father figure of the team of lawyers, and a brilliant trial lawyer by the name of Andrew Dehere. These are all brilliant Ghanaian lawyers on this case. And you know, at that point, you know, we recruited them as counsel of record, and you know, the case went. At that point, Kennedy's lawyers came in, obviously because near judgment for the full $30 million. And so he had counsel, and counsel came and also did his thing. Reopen default, you know. They argued that they had a solid defense, and I think right around then, no. And I almost got judgment from Ghana, no, almost really see it. And I don't know, you know, so say almost defense to case I
because
New Jersey.
We need Ghana, so our case no.
Exactly.
It's only no almost case. Okay.
So as defense against, but the interesting thing is that the defamation sits here, no. Say, kind of my the work for court. It's a separate case.
Yeah.
It's not to mean to Ghana and from the defending way. You still have to prove the truth of it. And this time, no, in this jurisdiction, no, the law is the same essentially because Ghana, no. But you sound so free other countries. There are certain times that even though any of presidential value, I just said, they didn't mean so India, but we to me the two na senior or the two especially in cases maybe you decided that type of a case. And you know, Emrano is the same as Ghana. Procedurally, you know, there are certain nuances, you know, sometimes in terms of certain dates, you have to do certain things by, and also in New Jersey, you know, Emra drafted complaints, you know, we were fully aware that we were required to prove what we were claiming by a higher standard than in Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes, in this case, no, and not even that. In this case, we were required to prove our case not by the normal civil standard, but by a clear and convincing evidence standard.
Okay.
And you know, they responded with that, and they were able to successfully reopen the default, which paved way for them to file an answer. And they filed an answer which essentially claimed that there was some sort of back and forth between him and Anas. And you know, we took it for what it's worth, and we forged on. And we finally got our trial date sometime earlier this year, and it was postponed. And then we finally went to trial last Monday. We started trial on Monday, and we put up our case. my client testified. Papa no so back court, he testified. He brought other witnesses, and after listening to both sides, senior Krumano, answer na ever try case no the difference between what happened with Ghana and see Johannes say no trial by jury into no any judge or judge back one I say judge me no I say judge me and send a bidi asem but normal people on the streets of New Jersey, tax-paying citizens, and a two and from. In this case, we started off with veneer. That's the technical word for when the prospective jurors are brought in. We're from a veneer. The veneer of 60 citizens, tax-paying citizens of the state of New Jersey, specifically Newark, New Jersey, and its surroundings, were brought in, and after what is known as Boadaya, which is the process by which they are questioned to see if they have any sort of bias or anything that will stand
for Ghana for your vetiomo. Say bia
vetiomo, vetiomo just said Ubinim Asemu Nubia and also Nimubia Asemu fan who and I say Ubu why bia Yamibi or some So we went through all of that. That was day one. That took from area to the end of the day. And so on Tuesday, we came to court and we had our opening statements. They had their opening statements. And then we proceeded to put on our evidence. And at the close of the evidence, the jury was instructed, Judge, in this case, Judge, Ometro Emrano. Na Omodiama, jury, no Ometro Mumu, Omeking Kanachro first. Almost also paper modibeko inside. Aquaco decide the different deliberations. Me nim there some meka no but me so say meka. Almost pensem okay. Abubu okay. Okay. And you know, there are some more about Thursday about 4:30. Yeah, the church room running now, and there are some more 4:30. Into now, yeah, I say we be an 4:30. No, yeah, caught a punk right around that time, which is I believe consistent with the practice in. I know it's consistent with the practice in Ghana. Into no, yeah, no, I just so yeah, be at Nana, yeah, take a deep breath and reflect on what has transpired during the past 4 days. And about 20 minutes later, we got word that the jury. So as part of the defense, I think it's only fair that Meka charges counts now at the buy and the civil claims now at the buy. His defense was also although Oka said it was some sort of just based banter between him and Uniano, he came to court and asserted truth as his defense. And so
time I court say counting now Mode Bono no say on it and us back and forth, right? The only claim or make it. Or say banter, I just say we can't wait internet and share or no, they're not all can you say Ubi to be more almost tomorrow.
But all you do court media that was not
and your son of Hokai, Ura court no G2.
Yeah, be or maintaining the position say no can or down standing by no kind.
Okay.
Basically, I'm just so practicing no crane D and onye boni bia.
Okay.
So to support that, or the move you try your internet to who watches a watchman. But the announced by as on only defense, and so the jury had the opportunity to evaluate that and factored that in the analysis. And obviously, it was not the weight that they wanted the jury to accord with. So jury never bugui. About 20 minutes later, the jury came back with a verdict, and there were the multiplicity of very quick. And there was a multiplicity of questions that were posed to the jury. That's the way how they arrived at the decision. It's and also unanimous. People who were picked off the streets of not picked off the streets of New Jersey, but they're to from based on address, voter registration data. and to omunim ya papa no so. But within 20 minutes, they saw through everything and said no. Kwanya papa no dey no fast no enye kwampa e wo mramu. So they came back and there was not even one juror that sided with the papa na some come.
All against
8-0 on every count and on every question that was posed to the jury, including damages now about no be doing komono. And also cry no there was a unanimous decision. I just say it was a solid decision of the jury. 20 minutes on take down said there was no doubt in our presentation to what you kind of lay people. These are not experts in the law.
Yeah, they are just
these are lay
people who just sat and used their common sense to come to a conclusion.
No. I would not say use that. I would not say use that common sense.
They listen to you and they listen to the other part. It makes sense though.
And then the law is the law. No judge in this world has any power to bend the law. That sort of conduct is what causes strife and war in places.
Yeah.
America had the judge actually before the judge ever kind jury instruction, but catch jurors and say, "Oh no, only to be a it's asem na edwuma kwa obetwa ne say obekkan mra and that's how it went. But you know what's interesting about CNN or a lawyer contrary, even though people don't give him credit for that.
At least Bonidina Anas asem na working.
But Anas, Anas. Also a very astute lawyer, Onimumrapa, new beer, your dreamer. And and some people walk cry a car on Jintumu, but sometimes a team of legal team to we come to a compromise. Now, he has been adamant about clearing his name because I have a personal experience of understanding. It's one of the worst things that can happen to someone.
Yeah.
And he absolutely took the position there. He wanted a trial. He's not interested in any settlement. He's not here for the money. He's here to clear his good name that he has built over time. And in his profession, at this time, and also started doing one. So he always maintained that he wanted a trial to the point where sometimes there was a disagreement in the legal team. Now, procedurally, America, peace. Schedule say, and from this time to this time, staff that work out we are dedicating it to your case. It's no small matter.
I know. I've been there. It's not easy.
Before they will go to trial, there's mandatory settlement conference. I bet say at this maybe by this time we'll be say grown or they'll commit to the right census and decide say this shouldn't go on because yes. And I acquire unfortunately me Anas disagreed with me, but I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million, just like the jury came back. As you know, these days we have all kind of tools that we can use to predict certain things.
Before you go ahead, this is where the contention is, and people saying 80 million, others saying a year 30 million. Now when you read,
we'll come to that. Let me clarify. Let me just clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Complaint the coin. Yeah, claim for $30 million. $30 million.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. And what I'm saying is that at the before the mandatory settlement conference, or before the jury is empaneled, even though my client had firmly informed me he had no intention of settling this case because he believes that he ought to go to a jury of his peers to clear his name. But maybe let's just prepare our settlement memorandum, be thorough and be reasonable.
Yeah.
And even though he protested, I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million. Okay. Now you do settlement conference, papa about court. Now the lawyers just say what he was willing to settle this matter for, and they said $10,000. So honestly,
it's clarification is very, very important. Normally Ghana.
Okay.
Into Muko Drew Hono. And that's initially, you have a kind of simple street language, and the damages are not paid around $30 million. And while the client and Anas Kasa say, a woman saw $30 million, and yes, he can't all pay. In fact, he wants his name to be cleared, and then any priority of going to court.
Yes.
But because of the experience, now unim CB and your Matiano, no client here and ask Kasa and say, it will be better and to be reasonable to at least settle on $80 million. And I'll say, Okra, no client and us, no. You did not really agree, but because he respects you as his counsel and as a lawyer, no, you people ended up around that money, around that figure, which is $80 million.
Oh, yes, like I said, you're a lawyer at Aremeyaw, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And also come home. And Andrew D here.
Yeah, you are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Aremeyaw is there.
Yes,
D here is there. Crow is there. Yourself. Basically, as we are speaking to you, we are speaking to all of them because.
Yes. So, the whole team agreed on that, but he was the only reluctant one in settling the matter. But procedurally, we couldn't go to trial without actually going through to the settlement conference.
Yes.
In spite of his reservations, we still almost cut our demand down to about a little over half.
Okay.
But to our surprise, Papa no buy and also no bet $10,000 to end the case.
No.
You know, I want to arbitrate and who said no, some way I'm sure so I can papers, So he said basically go and take your gamble in the courtroom. So that's how we ended up going to trial. So like to go back to how it ended, so at about 4:50 on Thursday. And the jury brought us in and they told us what unanimously what they had arrived at. But we decided to keep it under wraps because there was a component you multiply 18 million by 5 money do 90 million for a total of about
that was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah, because
to do that. Okay.
Yes. And then you decided to say about to go with coming public with the finding of culpability on Thursday.
Yeah.
Pay a coin we ended up leaving that alone. A pursuit of ×5 because almost file emotions be I just say or see a 2 a boss now in terms of that and sana say one way or another I go back I could pursue that ×5 and I say depending on what happens, maybe I bet me German and cafe. But at this time, almost my court no say almost be into swore.
Okay. So at this point, my court who say beba 80 million or almost pentiswo. How many days do they have to file that? Okay.
So at this point, the next thing that's going to happen is that there's going to be a paper. A judgment. I just say court reading seal better so.
Yeah.
That would take a few days, and then after that, I believe there's a 5-day rule that's within which you can file that motion. So a bear motion, appeal by appeal, depending on how that motion goes. We will get a chance. We may get a chance to attempt to get our ×5 of that 18 million, or a big jam and so depending on how that motion goes.
So for now,
yes.
18, Obintiminka said that is the end of the case. It depends.
No, it's not because hypothetically, someone to grab back 10, we still have the opportunity to go for ×5.
That is 50. Okay.
Yeah, into extra 50 plus. Yeah, hypothetically, someone to back 10, we can go for another ×5.